White flag raised, they're off. And the bar1racing.com Royal Bond Novice Hurdle. And a hot renewal it is too, racing to the first of 9 flights in this 2-miler. And over together, Envoy Len, and on the outside, Embittered, white cap, being followed to the second flight by Darver Star. Racing upsides Turnpike Trip, and then Foveros on the inside of Midnight Run. Blue cap, being followed away from the second flight by Abacadabra. Fast Buck towards the rear with Soviet Pimpernel as they come by the judge. Heading on towards the third flight, first of 2 past the stands. And Embittered and Mark Walsh just move a place in front of Envoy Len, the favourite, who created a deep impression on his hurdles debut. Is followed away from the stands by Turnpike Trip. Then Darver Star Midnight Run is on the outside. And then comes Foveros as they meet rising ground to flights 3 and 4. Embittered is the leader, followed by Envoy Len, then Darver Star and Turnpike Trip. On the outside is Midnight Run. And they're tracked by Foveros and Abacadabra. Fast Buck and Soviet Pimpernel brings up the rear as the field of 9 reached the 4th flight, just over 10 furlongs from the finish. And it's Embittered, rejoined by Envoy Len. Chiefly Park colours on the inside, red, white and blue. Just behind them, Darver Star, Turnpike Trip and Midnight Run. Being followed by Abacadabra. The final 3 are Foveros, Fast Buck and Soviet Pimpernel. At the top of the track, and soon to make the descent to flight number 5 at the halfway stage in the Grade 1 bar1racing.com Royal Bond Novice Hurdle. Tightly grouped, Envoy Len, Davy Russell on the inside of Embittered and Mark Walsh. Tracked by Darver Star, Jonathan Moore, and right behind them, Turnpike Trip and Kevin Broder. Out wide is Midnight Run and Rachel Blackmore, being followed by Abacadabra. And then stable companions Fast Buck, Foveros and Soviet Pimpernel remains at the rear. Heading to the 7 furlong point, they've 4 flights left to jump. And there's been very little changes in the order of running, with 4 flights left to jump. Envoy Len on the inside of Embittered. Little to choose between them, followed by Darver Star, Turnpike Trip. Midnight Run is on the outside. And then Abacadabra, Fast Buck, Foveros and Soviet Pimpernel as they leave behind them that 4th flight from the finish. Envoy Len and Embittered, still the first pairs they've been since the start. Tracked by Darver Star and Turnpike Trip. Next on the outside as they pass the 5 Midnight Run. 3 left to jump in the bar1racing.com Royal Bond Novice, and it's Envoy Len on the inside of Embittered, still going along stride for stride, less than a length and a half in front of Midnight Run, who's taking closer order on the outside of Turnpike Trip. Darver Star in between the pair of them. Then Abacadabra, Fast Buck around the outside, and then Foveros and Soviet Pimpernel, their heads turned for home. With 2 flights left to jump, and it's Envoy Len the leader. On the outside is Embittered with Midnight Run. Abacadabra is travelling into the race on the outside. Then comes Darver Star with Turnpike Trip, Foveros, Soviet Pimpernel, Fast Buck has dropped away. Oh, as they come away from the second last bad mistake, Midnight Run, good recovery by Rachel Blackmore. And it's on the far side, Envoy Len and Abacadabra. They're holding the case for Gordon Elliott over the final flight in the Royal Bond, and it's Envoy Len the leader from Abacadabra on the near side, but Envoy Len has the measure of Abacadabra, and Envoy Len further enhances his lofty reputation, is destined for high order, has made virtually all in the Royal Bond from Abacadabra, Darver Star, Turnpike Trip and